Hello, my name is Ron Dorn. I'm your instructor for GPH 111, and the purpose of this video is to explain what you signed up for. So I'm going to pause and share screen so we can be guided by this presentation. My goal in this class is for you to earn an A plus and have fun doing physical geography science. I wanted to design a class with Ryan Heintzman in GPH 112. He's the lead faculty that has the same philosophy. We wanted to design a fun experience that meets your graduation requirement in scientific thinking, but also teaches you a great science. So geography is a field that is a spatial science. We look at distributions, map things. In human geography, it's the human impact on the landscape. In GIS and in remote sensing, it's issues related to how do you analyze spatial data. Physical geography is about the natural landscape. So this presentation has six purposes: to explain GPH 11112, how they're connected, the unusual grading system, the sequence of modules that sometimes you're locked out until you finish a prerequisite module, to explain how general studies drives the bus of what you do for your grade, what you buy, and how to get help in doing the assignments. GPH 112 and 111 are linked. You can take just one without the other. You can take them at different times and in different formats, online, in person. They're linked by subject, but they can stand alone. Together, they meet the science requirement for general studies. Physical geography is by far the best science course to take. I'm biased because some science classes will use pictures like this as eye candy to hook you into what they teach. This is no hook. This is what we teach. We want to understand why Earth's surface can be so dramatically different from place to place. You get the same processes operating: the Earth, the atmosphere, and life and water, but they combine in different ways in different places. That's what physical geography is about. Your grade should be about encouraging learning, not discouraging it. Only points that you earn for learning count for your grade. The Canvas app on your phone will give you percentage information, and you have to learn to ignore it. Canvas is a lousy system. It shows percentage, and I can't get rid of it. So you will have an A, or hopefully an A plus, and you'll see 76%, and you'll be conditioned to think that that's a C. I can't get rid of that information as much as I would like to. What we're trying to do, Ryan and I, is to eliminate the fear of science. There's exam hatred. There's hatred about things that were explained poorly, that your grade depended upon. And this results in being literally sick out of fear. In this class, wrong answers will never lower your grade. You only learn from them without you being penalized. There are no big exams. Cramming is not part of learning. It's a terrible way to learn. See, the approach we have is taken from an article about accrual grading being like video games. In typical grading, students either score the average of their performance or start out with an A and see their grade degrade with every suboptimal performance. And this is madness motivationally. Either you receive continued punishment for any glitch at the beginning, no matter how much progress you make, or you're put in a constant fear of loss from the get-go. In contrast, everything you do in games and this class only gets you further. Challenge by challenge in this class, you learn, you accrue points that add up to levels or grades. So your grade is determined by this science cycle that is created by the general studies requirement. You get the purple on top, which is basic knowledge. You lack basic knowledge about the physical geography processes, so we deliver it in lecture and short quizzes. And then for the rest of the cycle, the yellow, blue, all the rest of it, you do science. There are no tests. The bottom line is you pick what interests you for the points. There are lots of little assignments that keep reinforcing your learning and reinforcing what scientists do rather than trying to make you fearful. This is the sequence of modules in the class. Half of the session, or the first 3 weeks, you do lectures. They're called the basic knowledge units 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the second half of the session, you do physical geography by using geovisualizations. And there's opportunities to put it all together in the form of essays or other assignments that allow you to build a knowledge conception about how all this works when you go on vacation. So, where do you find the basic readings and lecture material? Well, there's a welcome and start here module, and you'll notice that there's a page called All Lectures and Readings for Basic Knowledge Quizzes. That's where you find them. And this is what all those quizzes look like. There's a lot of them. The Arizona Board of Regents requires that I deliver 45 contact hours of knowledge information. We want you to get your money's worth. We don't want to waste your time. So there's 22 hours of lecture out of the 45 that we need to deliver. So it's half of your time. It'll take you about 3 weeks to do this. So, fair warning, there's basic knowledge unit 1, the introduction, that you need to finish the prerequisite of the welcome and start here, or you're locked out. And then in the second half of course, there's geovisualizations, and it'll look like this. You're locked out until you finish the prerequisite to access the rest of the modules. So just a heads up. And this is what it looks like. We set in place a module that students need to view or do everything in that module before they can move on. And the one on the lower right is the prerequisite to access the rest of the modules. General studies drives what you do for the grade. So this is the wording of the general studies requirement. There's a paragraph that basically says science is not an encyclopedia collection of facts. You need to learn, say, some basic knowledge. You need to learn concepts. So that's the first half of this lecture class. The second half of this lecture class and all of the lab, that's 1 credit. This class is 3 credits. So basically 2.5 out of the 4 credits are doing science with the 5 learning outcomes you see here. So what you do for the class can't be eye candy like a Discovery Channel and other shows that in a half an hour give the sort of information I give in 3 minutes a lecture. It can't be memorizing cool facts to be tested on. That doesn't meet the requirement. You don't get threatening tests on the basic information, just quizzes. So for the rest of the grade, you don't do fake labs. You do real science with real physical geography data. It's not boring and it's not old style maps, but it's video game looking GISs or geovisualizations. And the sorts of labs are not super long, but hopefully they're super interesting. So, for example, we asked AI, does lightning hit the tops of peaks? That's a locational physical geography question. And 3 different AIs, we took screenshots of their answers, said yes. You determine if the AI is making it up. If it's a language learning model and it's compiled information and it's compiled it in a wrong way or correct way, you evaluate this using real data. And this is a view of the lightning game with your avatar standing on a peak. You gather data and you assess the validity of this claim of the AI. Another issue that's real that you can analyze with real data in these games are, will trees survive long-term drought in the Southwest? The Southwest is going through extreme drought at this point. It's been multi-decadal. So you'll use temperature data, precipitation data, and something called NDVI, or the amount of biomass in the vegetation, to evaluate this question. We asked AI, why isn't the Grand Canyon a super narrow gorge like the Gunnison or the Zion Narrows or the super down low inner gorge of the Grand Canyon? And ChatGPT answered back, it's all about the Colorado River. So you evaluate that, what you buy, and how to get help. Other physical geography courses around the country use $200 to $300 workbooks that are filled with maps, doing fake exercises, learning kind of interesting, but still fake stuff. We wanted you to do real science with real data. So we work with a video game maker to put the mapped information, it's state of the art, from Landsat as GIS layers in a format that you explore via an avatar. The bundle of $55 gets you four of these geovisualizations used in both GPH 111 and 112 without any expensive textbooks to buy. So what you buy and how you get help is a common question page in Canvas. Why are they used? How much do they cost? Where do you get them? How do you extract them? How do you play the game? So you click on this link and you're taken to itch.io and you can purchase the four games: Hawaii, Grand Canyon Rocks and Topography, Grand Canyon Microclimates and Vegetation, and the Lightning in the San Francisco Peaks. How do you play video games? Look, I'm a old man. I'm a 67-year-old professor. So I made this video about 8 years ago when we started this project. No, maybe it was more like five. That here I am. I don't play video games. And I understand that pretty much 70% of the class doesn't play video games. We're not alone. I'm not alone. So this is how I play them. These are some of the tricks I used. If you do play video games, you're set to run. But we're assuming that you don't, and you just need that you'll discover that this is a great way to interact with mapped physical geography information. And we have a team of people to help answer your questions and make this fun and efficient learning of science. I hope I presented all of this information. I hope it was useful. There's all this information is in Canvas and it's in the syllabus. Don't hesitate to ask questions for help, and I really hope that you enjoy this class.